What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So today we're going over the KUVA SOBEK, that weapon everyone's been excited for, or maybe Saryn players have been excited for. We're going to be covering it with the Saryn loadout, and how good it is compared to the normal SOBEK, which might be some weird information for some of you, and also be showing a level 10,000 endurance run, like high-level enemy killing build, which I actually utilized yesterday for some somewhat decent results. So let's get right into it, because I also want to complain about how this thing's underwhelming and it should have been a different weapon. But before we do, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. We did this level 10,000 run you're seeing in the background footage on stream last night, and we'll be doing some more missions tonight on stream. So come on, stop by the live stream channel if you want to check out the testing and all that kind of stuff. So here we are killing a level 10,000 Thrax in technically one bullet. Like I missed a bunch of the pellets, but yeah, 2.4 million in some of those pellets with the loadout we'll be showing today. I have multiple loadouts today. Now I'm going to show it with Acid Shell Saryn. We're actually do a comparison of the damage and why the damage of the KUVA SOBEK is less of the normal SOBEK. And it's not really that complicated, but maybe it could sound complicated if I'm explaining it. So let's go over that stuff as well. So as far as the way the KUVA SOBEK works, if you want to get this KUVA SOBEK, even though it's not really, I wouldn't call it the best weapon in the game at all, it is going to be basically a generic full auto shotgun. We summon in some enemies here, and there's really not too much to explain with the performance, how the weapon works. So we just hold on the trigger, full auto. Reminder, there will be a full auto setting in the Jade Shadows update. So if a weapon is not full auto right now, you could technically make it full auto in the Jade Shadows update without any extra mods being applied. So weapons like the Strun, Prime, and Karnan and all that, they will be full auto going forward. So that strength of this thing being full auto, which is one of the only things it has, will be potentially diminished. But yes, we use this on some enemies, and we get a Hunter Munitions build, and it can hit some pretty powerful slash procs. We get a Ivara Hunter Munitions build, so those Ivara procs make the slash stronger, and yeah, this is what you can use to kill high-level enemies in one shot. Not just the Thrax, you can kill level 10,000 trash ads pretty easily too. We got Shotgun Vendetta for quick reload speed, and we have a lot of multi-shot. We throw on some buffs like Ivara's Headshot Multiplier and Nourish. They're just getting one tap before the slash proc in some of these situations. So that's what you kind of expect. Now, let's go ahead and talk about why it's not as good as it looks right here, specifically for high-level missions. Now, I am jamming a lot of buffs right now, to be honest. I have green shards for full armor strip, so if we throw on Kompressa with some corrosive and viral procs, it's going to make them have no armor. We've got Nourish for a ton of power strength, and I've also got Ivara's Prowl, giving us double headshot damage. So without these things, it will not be doing that at all. It will not be anywhere near as strong, and you will not be killing a Thrax in one hit like we showed earlier. Now that being said, we have a decent build on here. The Riven is probably not even worth running, honestly. 59.9% multi-shot, 77.6% damage, and 46% fire rate. You could honestly just throw on Vigilante Armaments. It's going to be the exact same thing, if not maybe a little bit better, because of the Vigilante bonus. You could either put on that, or you could put on Primed Point Blank, because we don't really have any base damage on here, unless you get Galvanized stacks, and that's going to be, potentially better than my really low stat Riven. But either way, I want to show you guys the build I used in the footage. So this is what we have. I would change some things going forward. We're going to show a level 10,000 Glaive build here too. In the future, I would use primary dexterity instead, because we can get easy level 10,000 trash ad kills with the Glaive. And there's not always trash ads around in close range for Shotgun Vendetta. With Shotgun Vendetta, it gives you 180% multi-shot and 75% reload speed for 15 seconds. We get to be within 5 meters of the target. That's pretty, specific. So, as far as this right here, this is what I used in the Endurance run. We have a Toxin 60% SOBEK here. And the reason for that is, and this is what I'd recommend for a general use build. I recommend for a general use build getting a Toxin one. If you're specifically looking to use it with Acid Shell Saryn, get a cold one or an electric one. But honestly, just use the normal SOBEK if you want to use Acid Shell Saryn. It's more damage, technically. So let's go ahead and show the exact build and explain what we're doing here. So Galvanized Hell, Galvanized Savvy, Galvanized mods give you more damage. We are playing as Ivara, so we have Silent Battery. If you're not playing as Ivara, you can put on Lock and Load for auto reload while holstered, or Vigilance Supplies for more crit increasing. We have 63% critical chance with the Critical Deceleration mod. A Riven is not going to have very high stats on this. You'd probably only get like 15% more 15% more crit chance on this with a crit chance Riven. But still, that could be maybe a little bit better. If they get some Riven buffs on it, if people don't use this thing very much, it might go up in stats in the future. But I'm not holding my breath on that. Now, let's talk about Acid Shell Saryn and what exactly is going on with that. Actually, first let's go over the rest of this. So we have Arcane Rage buffing our primary damage that will work on the Sobek. We've also got a ton of power strength on here to make our Ivara moving faster. I'm going to have a video about Ivara very soon, going on a deep dive on her. But basically, she can't really jump. She can't bullet jump. So you have to make do with what you got. We basically jump, then roll with parkour shards to be kind of as fast as a bullet jump. But yeah, the big thing here, Prowl Headshot Multiplier, giving us double headshot damage, basically. Nourish, giving us a ton of extra viral, which would be great against armor strip enemy, great against trash ads, and I think that's basically it. We also got Vigorous Swap. After we swap ones, we get a bunch of extra damage. So a ton of buffs on this thing to achieve that big damage. You got the Kompressa to take all their armor away and give them a bunch of procs. So the Kompressa has built-in viral. We mod it for corrosive, so we have viral and corrosive. And technically we have radiation to with accelerated isotope. And secondary encumber gives you a ton of extra procs as well, so those guys have tons and tons of procs. Multi-shot status chance riven. As far as the glaive, this thing's really good, obviously. We've got a level 10,000 glaive crescendo build here. Crescendo on finish or kill, gain 6 additional combo for the rest of the mission. Ivara's sleep arrow can give you finishers, so that means that the enemy will be vulnerable to finishers. You can just do this 30 times and you'll have a 12x perma glaive. Heavy attack efficiency riven lets you use those heavy attacks 12x's back-to-back even quicker. And since you're on Ivara, and Ivara's kind of slow, Dispatch Override gives you more movement speed. So yeah, so the thing about Prime Bane of the Corrupted, or Smite the Corrupted, the Thrax will get corrupted in these missions, and they will become corrupted enemies. So now you can have a Bane of the Thrax if the Thrax is corrupted. They're not always corrupted, but they will get corrupted sometimes. Okay, so as far as why is this worse on Saryn, we're going to go and show a clip I actually recorded on stream. Now, the thing about Saryn is that, well, first off, here's what you could do with Acid Shell Saryn with this Sobek. So, I might be saying it's worse than the normal Sobek, but reminder too, that's because I like to, look at every little point of damage as far as, Sobek, Acid Shells, Toxin proc, this and that. For normal players that don't want to bother with Rivens, the normal Sobek and the KUVA Sobek, just get the KUVA Sobek if you don't care about Rivens. It's got better base stats, so killing these enemies outright will be a lot easier. But the thing is, as well, if you're playing Saryn, you can kill these enemies outright very easily. So I'm going to link my full Saryn video in the description down below. But we're going to go ahead and show you why this is worse with Acid Shells than the normal Sobek. And I'm just going to show you the factual different numbers and how this is lower numbers comparatively. But yeah, full loadout guide in the description of this video. Basically, you just use Acid Shells with Saryn's 3 and Roar, and it hits really hard, and it just kind of keeps chaining like crazy. If you miss melee influence, just use this instead. And this again is with the KUVA Sobek, so no Rivens required on this one, although my Riven was technically equipped. So let's go ahead and show why the Sobek is worse with the normal Sobek is better with the Acid Shells. Okay, so here's the clip right here. So if you are including Rivens, I have the exact same build. So this is no mods on Saryn. We have so the way that Saryn's 3 scales, you want to have every Toxin mod in the game. That includes a Toxin Riven. So we got Prime Band, Cleanse Corrupted, or Cleanse Grenier, and every Toxin mod. We're going to look at the damage numbers here, and we're going to compare it, the exact same build, to the KUVA Sobek, and you're going to know, okay, so what was it, like 5.3? 5.3 with only Saryn's 3. And of course, if we were to put normal mods on Saryn, it would stack, the difference would be even bigger here. Now we're at the exact same build, 60% Toxin Progenitor. The Toxin Progenitor bonus, or Progenitor bonuses in general, do not apply to Acid Shells, as that scales off enemies' maximum HP. So we're taking that maximum HP explosion, we're skilling it with Toxin mods and with Prime Bane of the Grenier, okay? Exact same build on the KUVA Sobek now. What was it, 5.3 for the previous one? 3.3, so 3.3 or 3.5. So you're losing about 2,000 damage with this setup if you are running with a weaker Riven. What does this boil down to? It boils down to the lower stat Rivens. When a new weapon in Warframe comes out, they make it where the Riven stats are as low as can be. So you look at this Riven right here, 39% Toxin. That's like 100 and something % Toxin on my other build. So that being said, it's still pretty powerful in these missions. So we can go ahead and show it right now. Now, it is basically the same build from my Saryn video. I did improve the survivability a little bit with Nautilus to give us some better energy economy and to also give us some more shield gating with like Shield Charger and Guardian. But yeah, this is what we're using right here. Tenacious Bond is not even working with the Hellstrom, but you can just take that off. And yeah, so as far as what you want to do here, is you just want to use your 3. You just normal stuff. So we're going to go ahead and use our 3. We're going to use Roar, and we're going to blow up all these Exogok stats like they're nothing. You might be like, well, why are you complaining about this? I'm just pointing out that there's lower damage on this than a normal Sobek. So we cast our 3, we cast our 4, we also use Venom Dose, and these guys should be donezo. Well, actually, it's to take a couple shots to kill them. After they blow up, the scaling percent health toxin proc goes out and does some serious DPS to these guys. When they're grouped up like this, it's just pretty much over for them. Now, there is a glitch going on with acid shells, I've noticed. There will be times when you're in the sim that the explosion just doesn't even go off, and that's kind of annoying. It used to not do that, so I don't know what happened. It feel like Dante LOS up in here with how this explosion doesn't go off a lot of the time. Now, it looks like it's working pretty fine right now, and as I showed in the footage, it works pretty well in mission, but I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a glitch currently with it. There definitely is a glitch currently with it where it will sometimes not work. And as far as what we've got on the build, we've got Toxin Mod, Punch Through, which is very helpful. We got a Toxin Riven. If you don't have a Toxin Riven, I mean, just don't. You could just use the normal Sobek, honestly. You could just put on like Prime Point Blank there instead, or you could put, you know, a Reload mod maybe. Not really going to be a big deal as long as you just make sure you have Punch Through on the build and like Viral, basically. So as far as the level 10,000, let's go over some level 10,000 footage of this. And again, guys, just because I'm saying I don't like this as much as the normal Sobek, it's because there's less damage. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't use it. And again, if you don't like Rivens, this is totally fine. So let's go over my complaints about the KUVA Sobek and basically why I'm underwhelmed by it a good amount here. Now, we have the Ignis, or not the Ignis, I'll go over the Ignis later. We have the Glaxian, Lieutenant Glaxian here, and it is actually really, really nice. A big upgrade in stats and a big upgrade in usability. It chains to nearby enemies, and we have 2 members of our team right now at this level 10,000 run using Lieutenant Glaxian. It can handle level 10,000. So what did the Sobek get for these upgrades instead? Well, we have no alt fire mode. We have a stat increase, and that's literally it. So we get the KUVA Predator bonus, which is like, you know, increased damage, or increased elemental, basically. And you have increased status chance, reload speed, and crit. And base damage, technically, too. So that's it. You have a generic full auto shock. If Acid Shell's augment didn't exist, literally no one would care about this. And sadly, for the Sobek, the timing couldn't be any worse. They recently buffed, or rather, they recently removed the restriction on the KUVA Heck. The KUVA Heck can now use the Scatter Justice augment mod, and that thing is hitting really hard. We'll have a KUVA Heck level 10,000 video in the near future, but long story short, it hits harder than this thing does. It has like over 300 more base damage than this thing does. It is less, you know, less magazine. It's not full auto, but that will change in the Jade Shadows update. So I think that this KUVA Sobek needed something more. It needed built-in punch through. It needed, you know, like a grenade launcher alt fire mode. It needed something to set it apart from just being a generic full auto shotgun. Because remember, if you look at other crit shotguns in this game, it's not like the Sobek is the only option. You got the Boar Incarnon. You got, you know, mainly the Boar Incarnon. And I know the Boar Incarnon is an Incarnon weapon, but at the same time, when we're talking about these high-level missions here, you want to bring things that are going to be effective. And really, I feel like I was having to, like, you know, really, really push this thing to its limit because it's not really going to be doing the kind of damage you want consistently. You have to go for all headshots, basically, which I know, crazy. You have to go for headshots in a shooter game. But yes, you do need to go for headshots, which is not needed for every other weapon. And right here's like a decent Thrax kill. I mean, that was like, what, 4 or 5 shots in level 10,000? But with these crazy buffs. We're running Ivara's headshot multi, we're running Nourish, we got Arcane Rage even, we got them fully procced up. It's a lot of stuff, and other weapons don't need this level of buffing to slay these guys out. So I think if I was DE, I wouldn't have even made the KUVA Sobek, because the reason people use the KUVA Sobek, or the Sobek, was for acid shells, and this is just basically giving us another, you know, crit shotgun option. I'd say if you are choosing between one or the other, get the Tenant Glaxian over this, and if you really like acid shells Saryn, just stick with your normal Sobek, because you'll be doing more damage if you include a Riven. Like I said like 3 times already, if you don't like Rivens, you don't care about Rivens, sure, you can get this and use it with acid shells Saryn and do pretty good damage. But, yeah, you're going to be losing some damage in the long run. So hopefully you guys found this video fun and helpful. I think that it's, you know, it's fine. I don't think I'll be using it for level 10,000s again, maybe after some Riven buffs. But until then, it's just a kind of generic full auto shotgun that kind I just wish it was an Ignis. If we had a KUVA Ignis, you know, a KUVA Ignis would have been sick. A KUVA Stug would have been awesome. But here we are with a generic full auto shotgun that the main reason people were using this thing is actually it's worse now on this version of the gun. So I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully the new augment will make it better. Maybe it'll make it level 10,000 one-shot, which it can be, but I feel like having to proc them so much is kind of annoying. There's the Glaive in action as well. So see you guys next time. Appreciate all the support and take it easy. Peace.